Hey, Mario here, doing a walkthrough of one of my classes that I offered early this year on the Passion Project by Newsela. Apparently, the video I made before this one was too long and YouTube rejected it. So I'm making this as a shorter version, and I'm going to try to go really fast, but not too fast. But of course, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. But the purpose of the video is to just really show you my class that utilizes the Passion Project, which is a curriculum offered through Newsela as I think it's packaged as a remote learning unit. And what I did was I got that and I modified it to some extent. And this was a curriculum shared in Winter PD back in December. So I tried it out, and now I just want to show you my experience with it and talk about what students did. In a separate video, I'm going to try to go over student evidence of what they actually did in the class and some examples of their final projects so that if you want to implement this into one of your courses for trimester 3, you can use what I did and hopefully take these ideas and make it even better. So quick walkthrough of my class, Passion Project. It was offered for my English 9A class. I have my banner here on the front page of the class, syllabus and how to get to Zoom. And also because the Passion Project uses Newsela articles, it requires students to have to log into Newsela. Of the two options, I tried to get them to the link because if I have it set up correctly, all they have to do is log in with their Youth Book Charter email and password to then access all the articles that I assign. Option 2 is they go through the website and they just click on the student and they enter the class code that is generated by Newsela. That's me as a little cartoon figure telling students where to get their work, but basically they go to the folders. All sites are different. My site works on these really quick terms that last about 6 weeks. And because 6 weeks is not a lot of time, there's not a lot I can really do. And I should say that our school calendar is such that we have certain pupil free days for students and other Fridays where we have site PDs. And because of those Fridays, that then condenses more of the work week for our students. And in addition, Mondays we use that for family circle. So you're looking at teaching in my class happening from Tuesday through Thursday, with some Fridays that students are available for Zoom and some Fridays where they're just not on Zoom. Weekly folders, color-coded to make it look nice with dates. Week 1 is really an introduction of Newsela, in which I kind of walk them through how to link to Newsela, like how to log in. My classes are made up of warm-ups, which are the journal questions of the day. And then anywhere that is an article that they're going to read, I put in parentheses Newsela so they know that the assignment in question will be an article. What I do, which is more steps that I give myself to do, is I put a picture of the actual article for them to see what it is they're going to look for when they click on the link that takes them to Newsela. So on the top, I have my instructions. Here, it's a screenshot. It's a screenshot that is put on a Google Drawing, and that Google Drawing is then added as a page. So this is the actual page. And that way they know that if they see this article or this picture, they know they've arrived to the right destination. Not something you have to do, but I just feel it makes it a little nice, but also helps students to visually see what it is they're trying to find. Link is down there, and when they go to the link, they answer the 4 questions that are provided by Newsela for their articles, and also power words, which I try to be very deliberate to choose articles that have power words so that they learn the vocab, and the short writing tasks that sometimes Newsela provides, something of a standard thing like locate the central idea and talk about it, or as a teacher, you can actually edit that yourself. But for the most part, every week there is about 2 articles that they read, if not 1. The other part of the week was them kind of taking steps forward to creating their passion project slideshows. The passion project slideshows is the cumulative project that they do in the class in which they pick one topic that they're researching on Newsela and beyond that then gets turned around as a slideshow that is used to teach others what was learned. That's the goal for the class. The passion project is students pursuing their passion in reading by investigating and researching topics that interest them, which is supposed to increase engagement. And I think it did for my small class of roughly about 3 to 4 students. And I think it could be something that could work for you. Week 2, quick walkthrough, because I don't want YouTube to reject my long video. Similar structure. I have my little like banners, my Giphy, text here. I also started doing this just to kind of let students know what was covered in the week. It's a slideshow that really just gives them an overview of what was done. So in the event I had a student that was absent all week, or some days, this is kind of like your cheat sheet that tells them what was done on each day. Of course, if they scroll up and down, they can kind of figure that out too. But I thought maybe this could be helpful, as if it's like a teacher reviewing the assignments. But then again here, warm up, article, put Newsela. That way students know that it's an article. And then other activities like explore Newsela on your own, which is not provided by Newsela, but it's an activity I decided to do because I realized that students need more time to explore the website and just play around with the links, read up some articles. A better title for this would have been Newsela Scavenger Hunt, in which they just pick one article and they provide evidence that they read it by providing a summary, maybe also like an image capture, and there's like a sure out at the end of the class. Here, the brainstorming topic is pretty much where they begin to try to come to terms with what kind of topics they could potentially research. This is a handout provided by Newsela that is for the Passion Project, but I'm sure this could be adapted to other kinds of context. But here the students are learning about them. They're trying to list things that they like to learn about that don't have to be classroom related. So maybe in the yellow box, they can put things that they like to learn about, how cars work, historical things, outside of school. So here maybe they talk about other topics. But here in the yellow, purple, and pink boxes, they're just really exploring things that interest them, either through hobbies, things that they like to do by learning, or how they spend with their free time. At the bottom, that's where they kind of began to make that connection with finding a article on Newsela that potentially connects to one of these. So let's say, for example, in this yellow box where it says, I enjoy learning about, they might put that they like to learn about Japanese culture, right? So then, and maybe there's like about 3 bullet points, but here they're going to pick a Newsela text or an article that is about one of the bullet points listed here. So if a student were to write that he or she likes to learn about Japanese culture, then all that he or she would do is find an article on Newsela that's about Japanese culture, which is probably, a lot on that website. But he or she would just pick one and put it right there. Purpose being that they're trying to already make that connection with what they already like or know, and seeing that there's something out there that pertains to their interests, okay? And all they do here is provide the links. There's not much to do here, but it just kind of begins the research process for them. Week 3, going back over here. Again, there's Newsela article that they have to read, my little Giphy at the top that says, hey there, weekly assignment, so they know what was covered for the week. Article here, Passion Project proposal is the part where they begin to propose to the teacher what it is that they want to make their passion project about. Really helpful so that you know what they're thinking about and you can give them further scaffolding and advice on how to narrow down what they're thinking about, or provide possible Newsela articles that they can do more reading based on their topic. The handout walks them through, but again, it really helps them to design their topic and think of supporting questions that they can use these questions to further investigate their topic. And also it asks them to come up with a focus question, which kind of becomes their essential question over the next couple of weeks, okay? So from there, trying to remember if there's anything else. Oh, and also I assigned the Newsela article analysis. That is a handout provided by Newsela. The video was there because I think I had really bad Zoom connectivity, so I left the video for them. But really, they pick an article of their choosing, and they complete this handout that asks them to choose the subject matter, provide a summary, and provide connections beyond the text. Okay. Week 4 continues with reading more articles on Newsela that the teacher provides for them. And what's probably a different turn, yeah, here. So then at this point, I thought that it'd be helpful for them to know Boolean search operations and modifiers. And basically, I walk them through a slideshow that tries to teach them that when you choose certain key terms and you put particular words such as and or not in your search bar, it's going to provide different search results. And the key is for them to see that they can broaden their research, or they can narrow it down if there's particular things to look for. The slideshow is trying to the best of my ability, walk them through how to do this with examples that we do as a class with my guidance. But eventually, there's a handout here that I created that is further practice for them to see how to use and or, and also things like the plus sign, minus sign, or the parentheses to help them see how to really manipulate their research on Google. And then the last part here for this week is essential question. Pretty cool video I found on YouTube that I think really goes straight to the point on what is an essential question, what is not an essential question. It's for them to see that what they got to have for their final project. And there's a graphic organizer that is, I think Newsela created, but I think I might have modified it to help them come up with an EQ or essential question, which might require a teacher to kind of fine tune their focus. Believe week 5, that's where I begin to, well, I let my kids know that their work is due by a certain day. But here at this point, we begin to focus more on the actual Passion Project slideshow. They're still reading Newsela articles that I assigned for them, but I'm also trying to get them to get started with the slideshow because I want these slideshows to be, the best they can be, which means that you might have to offer your class the time to focus on their passion. So I think they call it Genius Hour. Or you can word it as, Newsela Day, or however you want it worded. But Genius Hour will be pretty cool because really the idea is that they're perfecting their moment of brilliancy by putting together the slideshow on a topic that is their passion, that they've researched, but that they're going to teach others of what they learned about. Passion Others here, an activity that asks them to write about someone that they know in their lives who pursue their passion and to talk about who that person is. Since these articles I assigned to them is asking them to read articles about these other people pursuing their passions. Finals week for us is what other sites call APT week or APT day, but really here, this is where they're presenting their slideshows to the class. On this week, I provide my students 2 exemplar Passion Project slideshows. Not exactly what I'm hoping to see in them, but to give them an idea of what they could do for their final project. Okay. That's my walkthrough for Schoology. In a separate video, I'm going to provide what students turned in, and then I'll walk you through one of the slideshows that you can see for yourself how they presented on their Passion Project. And I think there might be a third video where I then walk through the resources that I assigned in this class. Okay, thanks so much for listening, and you guys have a great day.